As a chef, I know flavor doesn't begin in the kitchen. It begins on the land. And Westhome's nature-led Australian Wagyu is a story written in the landscape of Northern Australia. Cooking is storytelling, and Westhome Wagyu carries a story of Northern Australia itself, raw, powerful, and deeply authentic. It's a testament to the passion and care raised in the rhythm of Northern Australia. I'm Chef Maylin from 88 Club in Los Angeles, and I invite you to visit westhome.com/Maylin to learn more and taste a story only Westhome nature-led Australian Wagyu can tell. That's westholme.com/MEILIN.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. This ain't just a show. This is a platform. Veteran built, battle tested. Welcome to the Misfit Nation. Yeah! Mic in the room, built from boots on the ground, now we breaking the rules. 2 vets, 1 leader, painting the sound, turn scars into sermons, let them echo around. Artists with truth, musicians with fire, actors backstage chasing something higher. Entrepreneurs bleeding just to get ahead. If you fought for your dream, yeah, you are what you said. If they told you no, if you still came back, if you fell to your knees but you stayed on track, this is your voice, this is your flame. Say it loud, remember the name. No salvation, just elevation. We rise again. From the fight, to the end. We are the Misfit Nation. No damn labels, no damn cages. If you're still breathing, you belong. Turn it up. This is our song. Yeah. This is our song. Yeah. Veterans standing with ghosts in the chest. First responders running in while the world second guess. Gold star names carved deep in the soul. Your story ain't over, we carry the whole. Coaches teaching mindset, breaking the chains, turning barely alive into owning the pain. Truth over polish, scars on display. If it's real, let it bleed. That's the misfit play. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. It's Aubrey right now. We're the more than you know. 9888, don't walk alone. Veterans press 1, bring it home. Don't trade forever for tonight. You're still needed in this fight. We're the Misfit Nation, built from scars and dedication. We rise again. From the fire, from the fight, to the end. We are the Misfit Nation. Every voice is vindication. From the silence to the scream, we're strong. Welcome home, you belong. You belong. You belong. Oh wait, you. Oh wait,
Woo!
you belong.
All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation in your Thursday after dinner edition. Thanks for taking some of your time tonight to hang out with us. We know you got other places you can be, but you choose to earn those frequent flyer miles right here. And tonight we're going to have a good one. But first, we'll pay our respects to those we lost in Kuwait over the weekend. There's 6 of them. I only have 4 of the names right now, but Captain Cody A. Cork, 35 of Winter Haven, Florida. Sergeant First Class Noah L. Teachins, 42 of Bellevue, Nebraska. Sergeant First Class Nicole M. Amor, 39, of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Specialist Sergeant Declan J. Cody, 20, of West Des Moines, Iowa. And Major O'Brien is one of the other two. Let's keep them in your thoughts and prayers as their families go through a sudden change, a life sudden change. They know they're going into inherent danger when they go to war. They don't expect to get this call. So let's think about them, their unit, as they stay in the fight and keep up with U.S. Central Command. As I told you, tonight we have a good one. We welcome United States Marine Corps veteran Clifton Maddox. He served our country from 2003 to 2010 with 4th GSP and 2nd Intelligence, working as an 0311 Infantry Marine, supporting joint task force missions on both the northern and southern borders, and deploying to Iraq. After leaving the Marines, he carried out the same commitment to service into civilian life, working as a contractor, realtor, husband, and probably the hardest job of all, being a father, while focusing on building stronger communities. He believes that the mission of service never ends, and tonight he joins us to talk about leadership, unity, family, what it means to keep building something better for the next generation. So without further ado, let's welcome in Clifton Maddox. Welcome, Clifton.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here again, like I said, in the green room. Thanks for stepping up to the plate today. When I told you I didn't have a guest for tonight, you jumped right in and said, heck yeah, brother, I'll do it. And we appreciate that. And we were talking again in the green room about how we need to help each other grow the community and build the community. And this is just one of those ways. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I love what we're building.
I gave the elevator pitch speech about you there, Clifton. I need you to dig deep into that bag of tricks and tell us a little more about you, from as far back as you want to go to how we got here.
All right. Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, I can go back before I joined the service. Back in high school, I was straight C student. Only cared about having the grades just to play sports. 9/11 happens. I'm a junior in high school. I'm at a Catholic school. I stand up and I say a few choice words. I was in my baseball coach's class, and he wasn't a big fan of it. He told me to sit down, and I said a few more choice words. And when I graduated from high school, my parents didn't even know I signed the papers.
Wow.
They found out about a week before I went to MEPS. At first, well, through it, they weren't happy. They wanted me to go to college, do all that. It's not that they had anything against it. It's right after 9/11. I mean, who wouldn't be scared with it
Right.
as a father or a mother? But now, if you were able to talk to my dad, he had told me, and so did my mom, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. So then I went off, joined the Marine Corps, went into the reserves, worked so infantry, and then the 8621 is ground sensors. We put out seismic, acoustic, infrared imagery, SATCOM gear in the ground. We used it on both the southern and northern borders in California, Texas, Montana, up in Blaine, Washington, catching illegal aliens and drugs coming across the borders, things like that. So we have real prac apt. And then I got attached to 2nd Intel, found out that they were a lot more on the infantry side versus not on knowing as they weren't as trained as we were on the sensors aspect of things.
Okay.
So when we got deployed with them, there was a lot of, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? That's going on. And when we got deployed, it's all of 2nd Intel with GSP. We didn't get your entire battalions over here, or your entire teams over here. You had fire teams that were all throughout. I was in Alkine, but we were in Fallujah, Ramadi, just all over with it. And it's just 4-man fire teams. 1 Humvee is all we had. And funny story about that Humvee. I'll get to it later.
Always a funny story with a Humvee.
Oh yeah. But we over in Iraq, what we did a lot with is we monitored ID hotspots, roadways, outside of perimeter of base, and then HET personnel, things like that. So after my deployment, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, I changed home address to North Carolina, went to college here, was a part of the football program here at ECU. And while there, I got to really, there's a ton of leadership skills that I learned from the military, but I mean, they were geared, there's different types of leadership traits and different types of directions that you can go as a leader. And I think always adding to that toolbox of hats that you can put on as a different leader um, is great for it. And I had the pleasure to work with Ruffin McNeil, who's known as a father figure in the coaching football world, and seeing how he led young men, um, that that was really good. And his coaching staff was phenomenal. So working hand in hand with them added a lot more to that toolbox. So
I bet that was amazing.
it was. It was a lot. I mean, you know, I mean, everyone that's we all have brothers and sisters in the service that if they called us or texted us and asked for help, we'll drop anything that we're doing and we're on a plane, we're driving, we're doing whatever to get to them. Ralph's also one of those individuals. So, got out of the service, and took a lot of that skill, a lot of that discipline and that drive. Um, and in college as well, I was Dean's List, Chancellor's List on honor roll all the way through college.
Wow.
So complete 180
Yeah.
from high school. Got out or graduated and trying to figure out what I want to do. Wanted to go into coaching, but it just wasn't for me. With trying to start a family and everything, and because that's one thing. Military is hard as far as changing your uprooting your life and moving away, and going here and there. But coaching it's just as hard on a family. Um, you can be in a position and be the best wide receiver coach, but if that head coach gets fired, you're probably gone too.
Yep.
And you're just completely moving your family wherever the wind takes you at that point. Um, so that wasn't the path that I decided to go into. I'd always grown up in construction, and had a background of it. And my dad always and my mom always said that I don't want you to get involved in construction. I did everything that there was to stay away from it until probably about 7, 8 years ago. I mean, I did property management, I did real estate, and still doing real estate, and still doing property management a little bit. Did odd jobs and everything, but then I finally went full in with it with what I do now. I'm building apartment complexes. So, um, and then I would, when the passing of Charlie Kirk with the situation that involved with all that, really was an eye-opening moment for me. And that's when I said, you know what, that's my enough's enough moment. I got to stand up. I got to, there's too much to divide. There's too much anger, hate in this world that we're living in, that I've, I felt like I had fallen into that silent majority. And just, if it doesn't affect my life, then so be it. Well, it's affecting everyone's lives. Just because it's not affecting mine, I felt like, seeing this, in my eyes, Charlie losing his life just for his voice. Doesn't matter. All the other stuff is just noise. That's what it boils down to me. And I couldn't stand by anymore.
Understood. I think that gunshot awakened a monster in everybody that was just like you, sitting on the sidelines watching and saying, "Not my problem, not my problem," until you realize it is your problem. Just like
Hmm.
you realized, hey, what if this happens closer to me and someone's talking that I love that's right next to me, and maybe someone doesn't like them, so they eliminate them.
Yeah.
That's not how we should live. We should find that place in the middle. There's always a place in the middle we can meet. And I think that's what this awakening is. Now you see all these other people that are now on college campuses following Charlie's way. They're going out there and they're trying to talk to the young Americans that are on these campuses, and maybe just have a common sense conversation. And I
Yeah.
think that's amazing that's happening.
Yeah. And so our society is built on having those tough conversations. We're built on having the freedoms to have those differences of opinions, but we have to be able to communicate them.
Right.
And I don't believe right now that most of our society is able to.
I know. I think at least 60% can't right now. And you can just go if on whatever platform is your favorite. You can go on and you can see the arguments on there that people just cannot talk to each other.
Yep.
I mean, most people can't do anything other than keyboard. Like if they were in public, there was no way they can have a conversation without getting irate over nothing.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, that's not how we are meant to be. We're meant to debate. Yes, we're not meant to just go irate right away. You're not supposed to agree. I should not agree with everything you say. You should not agree with everything I say, because then we're just robots at that point. But
Well,
we need to be able to have that comfortable debate.
and it's the same thing that I look at when I'm hiring for positions and things like that. I don't want yes men or yes women. I want someone that can challenge some things, do it respectfully, but to be able to challenge and think outside the box on their own. And that's what makes a better product. That's what makes a better society, and that what makes a better life.
Yes, 100%. And I think what I liked about your bio is I think the first part of your bio right away mentioned family, and then what you do, family, husband. And that's a big thing. If you can put that family, because when you're in the Corps, when I'm in the Army, we don't put that first. It's there, but it's not first because we have something else in front of us. It's called the mission. We kind of forget that focus factor. But now I think all of us, as we come out, we have this rebirth, and all of a sudden, hey, family is more important than that uniform and chest candy and any rank I could get. Family should have been number one the whole time.
Absolutely. I mean, funny thing is that rank's going to fade. Those responsibilities never will.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, and I'm a big proponent of, I put a little twist on what Charlie always liked to say was God, family, country.
Mhm.
Well, I say God, family, country, united.
Nice.
And because that is where it doesn't, for, I have my beliefs. I don't know what yours are, but whoever it is that you look up to, that's fine with me.
Yeah. As long as you're looking up to something,
Yep.
not just maybe not a tree, but something. You're looking up to something bigger than you, and I think that's another thing that's lost. Some people just have no guidance outside of this or outside of what we're doing right now. This is what focuses their mind, is what the box tells them to say or think. That's what they think. And I think by what you're doing with the veteran host platform that you built on TikTok to get us all together in there to share what we're doing, to be cheerleaders for each other, basically, and get each other's voice out there and to a bigger audience, that helps grow and get those minds a little more melded to other things and lets them say, hey, there's other ideas out there. How can I be better now? How can I be a better human? And I think that what you're doing is awesome.
Iron sharpens iron.
There it is. Iron sharpens iron. There it is. So you went. Was your first choice 0311 when you were going in, or did you want to do something else when you came in?
There was no other option for me.
There was nothing else. That's all I wanted.
I hear everyone sit here go, what was your ASVAB score, this, that, and the other. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea because I didn't care, because it was all I was going for was 0311. Got into it, good.
Well, you can write your name. You're good. 0311.
They give you, I think, 15 points for spelling it right.
And it just has to be a name right, does not have to be your name right.
Just get your last 4 right and you're good.
That way they can pay you. That's good. And make sure that everything goes to the right people if something does happen to you. But,
yeah.
So you were an island Marine, 0311, wound up with the ground surveillance guys. You were doing this in 2003 to 2010, and you mentioned the border stuff, and a lot of listeners are like thinking, oh man, 2003, 2010, there was nothing going on at the borders then. There's no way. By God, it's been going on a long time. Tell us a little about that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So those were, I mean, honestly, they were really amazing moments, and really amazing things that we were doing. I mean, we'd be working with Border Patrol, ICE, the Border Patrol pilots. I forget. Actually, no, I got it right here. This is one San Diego Sector Air Mobile Unit. They were with Border Patrol. I have one of their challenge coins right here. That's why I remember it. But we'd go out with them, and of course, Posse Comitatus Act is always implied on us. But we go out there. I've seen things that, I mean, have you been deer hunting before?
No,
Game hunting?
I'll admit I've never been hunting other than humans.
All right. Well, I've seen the deer trails like something like that. All right. And it's only indented into the earth like that much, a heavily traveled track. I've seen 2 foot wide, indented in the earth, almost 2 foot trails in Texas and California coming across the border. But we would go out there, we'd set up our sensors, and then we go back and monitor them, and let Border Patrol know when, hey, we're getting hits in this, we're getting activations out here. Hey, we have imagery. I mean, the sensors are amazing what they are capable of doing back then. I can only imagine. I think the SATCOM stuff was just coming around when I was getting out for the last few years that I was getting out, and I'm pretty sure that they're upgraded it since then. But we'd catch that they go out there, they apprehend the individuals. Most of the time we could see it all happening on our sensors. Plus we're sitting in there with them live in their what they would call a talk. Same thing with us. And as they apprehend them and catching drugs. We caught in, I believe was it California or Texas? I'm not sure. But a room that was, I'd say it's about 8 foot wide by 10 foot long. We filled in 1 month, we had it probably 7 foot tall, filled with bricks.
Wow.
Of just drugs coming across.
Yeah. And this is well before now the epidemic of it now.
Yeah. And everyone wants to talk about, well, we didn't have this big of a problem. We didn't have this. And I mean, the thing is, there's the people being smuggled across go into safe houses. Then from those safe houses, they go other places. In my opinion, with what Trump did to begin with everything, with going after the cartels and that, he got the locations from those safe houses. They go to other states, and he knows where they were going. And that's how he's being able to track down. Plus, there's no one better than the cartel of having everything lined out and who their parents are, their kid, everything. They know everything about that individual. And it's easy to find them after that.
They are a very, like you say, a very organized crime element to the cartels. They make the Gambinos, the Capones of the days gone by look like amateurs the way they have their things set up now, and their networks are just insane how they have their networks. And we've seen that just recently when we just had the arrest of the taking out of the last cartel boss there. That network was only infiltrated because of a prostitute, basically. That's the only way they were able to get in there and find out his location, because of her. And that's a lot to say, hey, this guy's been doing this for probably a couple decades. He's pretty well embedded deep in there, and it took one mistake, one indiscretionary moment for him to get taken out.
And it's, I mean, you want to talk, a lot of people, like you were saying a second ago, a lot of people don't understand what was happening back then. There was one instance that, all right, so we go in full blackout vehicles with Border Patrol. We pull in, we get out of the vehicles. We're putting our stuff, we're putting our rucks on and about to start moving. Border Patrol agent comes up to us and goes, hey, just so that you're aware, Mexican military was spotted in this area earlier today. I looked around and looked back at him, and I straight up asked the Border Patrol agent, aren't we still in the U.S.? He's like, yeah. He says, it happens all the time.
Wow. Man. And now we have a division on the border, not just probably for you guys. There's probably a couple units here and there across each border. Now we have a division in charge of the border, the southern border anyway. The northern border, we kind of forget about that sometimes, and that's probably the more porous border of the two.
More of the drugs coming across. But down south, it was a lot of people being smuggled in. You'd find people been out there for days, just aimlessly lost. We come across people when we're out there to put in our sensors, we'll come across groups that are coming across, and the guides, they tuck tail and run straight back to the border. The other people, they're like, we have no idea, and they just scatter. And we can always find the people that scattered. That's the easy part. It's getting the ones that are coming, that are doing it, and bringing them over. But even the ones that are bringing them the drugs across, we got caught guys that missing fingers, missing tongues, stuff like that, because they've been caught before.
Yeah.
And sad thing is, they get, back then it was slap on the wrist, escorted back to fingerprint and all brought in with Border Patrol, slap on the wrist, sent back over across the border.
Wow.
It's what can you do?
That cycle didn't end then either. It went on. It still happens now. They get sent back across and they're right back in because they know the network to get back in. They know how to get back in this country. They want to be back in here because it's so much money for those organizations to have those people back on this side. So they will push them back in here to do their bidding. And like you said, they know their families. They know where their families are and what it means to them if they do something to them. So they'll do anything so their family doesn't get hurt. And it's a never-ending cycle right now.
Yeah, and you can't say that, oh, that must have been when it first started and with it, because that's so long ago. And these people even, I mean, they knew we wore our uniforms and everything when we were over there. Well, I take that back. We did in Texas and California. We did not in the northern borders because we stuck out like sore thumbs more there. We actually able to grow our beards and hair out there because small population towns. But when we caught one guy and he went into a culvert up under the road, and we're at one end and the other end, and we're trying to talk to him, and he's first thing he does is, oh my heart, because he knew posse comitatus. We can't do anything. Okay, so get him medical attention. Is the first thing that we have to do. Well, for us, it's, hey, Border Patrol, come over here. This guy, he's saying this. Y'all have fun.
He's got a problem.
But there's guys we chased across the border. They swam the Rio Grande, get out on the other side, and start flipping us off. And they're just like, we're like, we'll see you next week.
You'll be back, and you're gonna get caught again.
Yep.
When you got finished with the Corps, though, you went to coach a little bit, and you realized the burden that puts on you and your family. And like you said, if you have anything happens within that coaching world, if you do something wrong, you're gone. If your boss does something wrong, the whole staff is gone. And it's not a very stable life unless you're having that winning program, or you're Nick Saban or someone that's doing really great things, that you're going to stay in one place for a while. And I know when you get into coaching, you get the itch and you want to do it. Do you miss it now that you're not doing it?
I miss it every day. I mean, it's the closest thing to the service and the brotherhood and the camaraderie that I've seen um, with your players and with your coaches. Because, I mean, when I was a student assistant, I was a full-time student um, and also putting in 80 hours a week working with them, sleeping at the clubhouse at night after a Saturday game. If it was a home game, I'm sleeping so that I can there because I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning, breaking down film for the coaches in the morning and doing those type of things. Uh,
That
but
was a huge burden. Yeah.
it definitely was. But it was such an eye-opening thing, and seeing really what it takes. I mean, I remember having someone say, like, yeah, they get paid so much money for working half a year. I'm like, they
What?
don't work half a year.
It's just the half you see.
Yeah.
Or not even the half you see. You see about a third of what they do during the year. It doesn't take into account the recruiting trips to try to find those players, or the sponsorship dinners you have to go to maybe raise money for the program and things like that along the way. And of course, building the program from within. If the equipment's bad, you got to find those people that want to help you build that too. It's a never-ending job for a coach, and they may have a week or two just like a regular job, where you have that week or two off where maybe you can go on a cruise, but you don't turn off because you're worried about, if I don't call that kid that's in who's a 4-star or 3-star, if I don't call him during this week, maybe he's going to get called by someone else, and he's going to get there instead of me.
Yeah, that in with rough. So one thing that you'll see on my page that I speak a lot about is your ABCs. Avoid bad company. I get that from Coach Ruff. Coach Ruff actually has a kid's book on it. And it's an amazing thing. But he was known, like I said earlier, as a father figure, but he was able to take a 2-star or even a 2, 3, 4-star that comes from a single family or single parent family, rough childhood, problem kid, and he would mentor them and teach them and grow them into men. Because I mean, coming out of high school, I'll even say I was still a boy when I went into the service. Um, and that's that is what our society needs, and that's why I say he's such an awesome individual, because he took the chance on individuals. And I've seen him at times just sit in his office, bring one of his guys in. He always had a special project, and he'd bring them in. They sit there and listen to music. They sit there and just talk and hang out, not football related, not anything. He's teaching them how to be men.
Yeah, that's what you see. You hear that a lot from the players in a lot of these programs. He made me a man, or taught me how to be a man, how to be a better person. And you don't hear that enough, but you hear that a lot from the top tier players. And when you hear that, and then we just lost Lou Holtz yesterday. That's why I have my Notre Dame hat on. He was a great mentor to his players, and the players that were on his 1988 championship team, they still speak so highly of him. The whole Notre Dame campus speaks highly of him because of who he was as a human, how he took care of the men first, then football. Players first, then the game. If you take care of them, the game will play itself. And I think that's the same thing that Ruff was probably teaching it to you, is if you treat them like they need to be treated, teach them how to be the man, they'll do the things you want to do. They'll run through those walls, just like when Gunny, your staff sergeant, was telling you stuff in the Marine Corps. If they treat you right and they motivate you, you're going to run through that wall. And if you're treated right as a player and given that responsibility, you're going to run through that line and do what you have to do.
Yep. You're going to take the accountability of your mistakes, and you're going to take. He's able to get. He got so much more out of them than anybody else could, because they didn't want to let him down, and when they did, they weren't going to do it ever again.
I told you this question was going to come up. It's Jake from the Tuesday crew. He wants to know your favorite flavor of crayon.
Of course, it's always red. What makes grass grow?
There it is. And I told you it was going to come.
Yep, always.
I wasn't going to hide it from you. but it came in. I had to get it out there. We do have another question from the audience as well. This is from Alice No Wonder. What leadership lessons from your time as an infantry marine will still guide you in civilian life today? Thank you, Alice.
So that's one that means a lot with me. Is I like to call it the 3Ds. And I'm big proponent of not holding on to a golden egg, keeping things locked up and like a secret. But that's discipline, dependability, and my drive. Those three things that I took out of the Marine Corps, um, and it's not just the discipline to stay on task, stay on this. It's the discipline to take accountability for your own mistakes, and the discipline to learn and learn your craft and learn from your mistakes.
Heck yeah. If you don't learn from them, you're doomed to be cleaning the motor pool all day and making the same mistakes again over and over and over again. And those are the three great ones right there.
Yep.
And as you do the business you didn't want to get into, the construction business, but you finally fell into it, you went in kicking and screaming. As you use the 3Ds there, do you see your workers or your contractors that work with you, do you see that kind of melting into them as well?
It does. In the construction world that we live in nowadays, it's not like the old days where these are guys, the trade guys are not guys that I've hired. They're subcontractors for my subcontractors. And unfortunately, it's that way. But it's not a lot of people that do what I do. They like to bark. They like to scream and shout and hey, do this, do that. But it's showing them that you care. My framer, every job site that I've been on, there's times that I go out and like this job site, I'm probably going to have 80 framers on site at one time. I'm probably going to go buy them all lunch one day. And just take care of them. And during safety meetings and stuff like that it's letting them know, hey, yes, I got to go over these type of things. Y'all got to listen. But at the end of it, at the beginning, I always start it with a game. I was like, hey, look, if anyone wants to play, you're welcome to play. The only rule with this game is you have to be on time. If you're not on time, you can't play the game. The game is bring as many dollar bills that you want, write your name on it, drop it in the hat. At the end of it, I'll end up dropping $5, $10, $20 in it myself, but I won't write my name on it. At the end of it, I'll pull a name out of the hat or the bucket, and whoever's name is on it wins the entire lot.
Wow.
There's times that they could win $200.
Nice.
And they appreciate those type of things. And then I'm asking them, hey, look, I know I give y'all a hard time about cleanliness and keeping the job site clean, but it's about going home to your families. There's X amount of injuries on a job site that happen all the time, and the main focus is I want the money. Let's not lie. The reason that we're all here is to make money, to support ourselves and our family. Well, if we're not here, we can't support ourselves, and if we're not able to work because we get injured, we're not able to support our families.
Right.
And that's and that hits home with them really well, but it's also from the heart.
It definitely is. And you're showing that you're leading from the front too. You're showing them that you care. You're showing that you're actually visiting them on the site. A lot of people, they don't even come out. Like when the person who's building our subdivision here, the main builder, I've never seen him in the subdivision. I've seen his foreman come out, but every house had pretty much the same crew that did framing, did the roof, did the foundation. There was a different crew for each part of those, but it was always the same dudes. And I knew they were all getting, like you said, the sub. They would come out, and those crews come out here. They'd have their music blaring. They'd have their little barbecue thing going. So I knew they were happy with what they were doing because they had a job and they were doing it well. And it was always the same guys, like I said. And sometimes their wives would come with the minivan and pop out in the back, and there'd be food bags for everybody in there. But I'd never once seen the builder come by.
Yep. And I'm not scared to get my hands dirty. There's many times I'll go out there and they're like, well, we can't do this. We can't do that. And I was like, here, I'll show you. Let's do it. Do it together. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right,
You can
cool.
do
Carry
anything.
on.
There's no I can't in there. You can do anything you want, and I think that's another problem with people. When they move up, they forget where they come from sometimes, and you got to remember where you came from and how you felt when you were down there. When people wouldn't step in and say and get dirty, and if you can't show the lead by that example of doing, who are you? What have you become?
Well, it's like the old saying, everyone wants to be a leader, but not everyone wants to put in the work that it takes to become one.
Exactly. We got another one in here. This is from, I'm trying to read the name. Nail them down. That's good for this field. How did your experience supporting the JTF missions and deploying to Iraq shape the way you view responsibility and unity? It's a good one.
So on the responsibility side, it's just seeing, well, let's focus first on the unity side. Just seeing multiple branches or multiple different government agencies, let's just call it that, what it is, working together for a greater good, and assisting. And I mean, being in being in the talk with Border Patrol when you've been with them for a little over a month, here and there, and getting to know them, the same banter that we have in the service, they have it, and they're doing it just back to us, and we're just busting each other's balls and giving each other shit about everything and just having a good old time. Um, and I still keep some of those keep some of those individuals. We'll talk every once in a while, checking in on them and seeing how that they're doing. As far as responsibilities is, I never once when I worked with Border Patrol or ICE or them, did I ever feel like when I was out there that they didn't have my back as well. And believe me, I know that they were like, we got 4 or 5 Marines with us. We're good.
It's good to have that banter at the workplace and know it's okay to have it. And that makes you feel more comfortable. And that you, like you said, the UNITY, the unity, it helps a lot, especially in the field you're in right now. It could be stressful when you have deadlines or things coming up with the projects. To have that unity and knowing that everyone has each other's back when you run the border with the Border Patrol fellers and you guys mixed in together, knowing that you can tell those same jokes in both houses, it helps you guys out a lot to make sure that everyone's on that same team and having a good time.
And on the responsibility on with being a civilian and doing what I do now, it's the same. It's there's not I can't. There's not a, well, that's his job to do,
Right.
or that's below me. No, it's get the job done. That's what it boils down to. And I mean, there's bonuses. You can look at it and say, oh, you're doing it because of your potential bonuses at the end, this, that, and the other. No, I'm doing it because, hey, look, if we don't get this done, then my electricians can't come in, or so and so can't come in. They can't get rolling. Then it's going to set us back, and we're just going to have more and more problems. And then eventually, hey, now my job's on the line.
That's right. And it becomes that domino effect at that point. And you just can't stop it until you put that foot through the wall and say, hey, we got to do this now.
Absolutely.
Another one popped in. This is from Murphy Hadalaw. That's a good one. What inspired your transition into building apartments and real estate? And how does that tie into your mission of strengthening communities?
So, so I went back to the well of, so I graduated college with a kinesiology and sports studies degree, um, that I'm using none of. Maybe the business administration undergrad, but that's about it. Um, but I went back to the well what I'm comfortable with, and started back in doing with a small company doing remodeling work and stuff and that, but I wanted to get a change. I wanted to get out, and I got into the property management. Being someone without property management experience, and at that time not being a realtor, I had to take what was out there. It's still a good job, but it was Section 8 housing, things of that nature. And then that's when I started seeing and where there's so much need for help. Um, there's I've managed 8 style buildings, and I've managed Section 8 style buildings. I lump them both together, as in um, there's good and bad on both sides, but there's one thing is, and I'm going blank. Um, they the entitlement is there on both levels, and it's no different than top housing versus bottom housing. There's no difference in the entitlement. Um, but some of my best overall tenants were always Section 8. They were amazing individuals. As I got further along in property management, there was um, individuals that I had a budget, and I would cook Thanksgiving dinner for the community, and I'd smoke a turkey. They all come in, and they would throw out a spread, and I had my 4 ladies that would decorate, do everything, and we had a blast. And I'd smoke a turkey for them, and host all these events for them, and it was just a great environment. And unfortunately, when I left, that property, a Section 8 property is only as good as any property is only as good as the management that's on site. And it went downhill and went downhill fast. Um, and that's where I knew, okay, I've got something that I love doing, and I love assisting and helping others and building a community um, that supports one another and takes care of one another.
Definitely, and that's a huge thing to have, that interlocking community support. And I like that you referenced that both sides had their people that were needy and wanting more than they, or just thinking they deserved more than that they had, or they wanted more and more and more and more. And you see that in all sides of life now, and you can see it on YouTube videos or Instagram shorts of people going to McDonald's and going crazy because they went to McDonald's instead of cooking at home and thought it would be a 5-star meal. And it's not. It's McDonald's. It's usually a kid that's cooking back there that has no idea how to cook or press the buttons and just sends it out to you. So you get what you get. And I think we need to get that mindset back into our heads that if you want something better, do it yourself and learn to cook. If you can cook better than that kid back there, cook at home and don't trash that kid.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the same thing you were kind of seeing with those on both sides of the fence there with the housing and dealing with the different types of people on both sides of it. And usually the people that want to live in a better place but live in that Section 8 maybe, they love what they have because that's all they have. And they are trying fighting tooth and nail to get out of there or saving every last penny. So they love everything they have. And when you were able to go in there and have those community meals and they would come out and decorate, that's because they love what you were doing and they love where they are.
Well, and I think that the military first showed me is my first eye-opening experience. Yeah, I went public schools and stuff like that, but it's my first eye-opening experience of all walks of life.
Yep.
It's much pot. Just different types walks of life, but coming together for a greater good. And then obviously on deployments and seeing what what poverty really is. And just knowing that I don't get me wrong, there's bad people in this world, but there's not someone that's trying should never have to deal with that.
Right. Exactly. And when you got into building the larger apartments, how many I guess units is the biggest you've done?
So 120 is the largest, and they are tax credit or affordable housing as well, what we build.
Okay. And where are these getting built at?
All over Eastern North Carolina.
All over East North Carolina. Okay. Yeah, I know here they pop them in and they're up to 300 units, and they'll have everyone within there. They'll have Section 8 availability, but it's only on certain months or whatever that they'll open them up. But they have to fill out the high priced ones first before they do those.
Yeah,
it's a weird formula, but
and
they do say they have it.
It's a lot of it also is income based housing, and I've worked on the property management side of it, so I've seen it and understand how it works. To say, so it's a great program. There's so many great programs that are out there. The problem is not the program that's the problem. It's the people that take advantage of the program. That's the problem.
Oh yeah. And like you said earlier, there's bad apples everywhere, and there literally is bad apples everywhere in every community, every culture. There's bad apples.
Every profession.
Weed them out. Every profession, yeah. No matter where you look, there's going to be someone that's shady and doing something wrong, and they kind of ruin it for others. And it takes those who are doing the right things and living that in life by integrity to set things right and set things apart, so other people don't think we're all the same. Or lump everyone into that same notebook there.
Absolutely.
All right, we got 2 more questions popped in, then we'll start to our closing. This is from Still Here, Yo. You talked about no longer staying part of the silent majority. What moment pushed you to start speaking up with conviction? You already answered this earlier, but this is a late question, so go ahead.
Yeah. So that was the Charlie Kirk's passing. It had nothing to do with what he stood for or his beliefs or anything. It's just the fact of someone's life being taken on for speaking their opinion.
Right. Just giving their thoughts on something. And it's like we talked about this, I think 5 minutes earlier. So it's something that I think we're both passionate about. And we fought for this freedom of speech. And if you can't speak the truth and have your opinion of stuff, then what are we? What have we become at that point?
I start to wonder if parents are still telling their kids, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
That would require them not just having their kids a tablet.
Or trying to have the school system teach them.
Yes. And raise them, not just teach them, raise them.
Well, that's where I was getting. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting hard out there, and sometimes the belt has to come off now, I think, and we have to learn that way again, and maybe it'll right the ship a little bit. But I digress.
Yeah. As long as they don't have what like my dad had in the backyard. He had a bamboo thicket.
Oh man. Go get your
quick. Yeah, learn quickly. You don't want to get the little ones. You want the big thick ones. Those little ones hurt.
They hurt more. Yeah, of course. We got one last question in here. This is from, where'd it go? There it is. Friends of you. As a husband and father, what values from the Marine Corps are most important for you to pass on to the next generation? Thank you, friends.
Thank you. Heck, you probably could have started with that question at the very beginning of the live and we'd still be talking about it.
Yes, sir.
But the biggest one that's hit me is, well, the biggest two is confidence and accountability.
Definitely.
I mean, both of those things with my son's age, those are two things that he struggles with, and he's a manipulator. So him being accountable for his actions and not being worried about it, and not going to get in. I mean, yeah, you might get in a little trouble, but it's going to be less trouble if you tell me and you're honest about it than it is if I find out that you've lied.
Yeah, that's when it hurts more. I mean, you learn more that way. Can't say hurt no more.
Yeah. Well, that's when we'll just say that's when the bamboo comes out.
That's when the bamboo arrives again. Definitely. Misfit Nation, thanks for hanging out with me and Clifton tonight. Clifton, thank you again for stepping up at a moment's notice, getting to that batter's box and hanging out with us. I have two more questions for you before we go. If anyone in the Misfit Nation wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that?
What's the easiest device that you have? I'll give you what. Now, TikTok, the best thing, honestly, I have a YouTube channel, We the People Veteran, on all platforms, TikTok, X, YouTube, Instagram. I also have a link tree in there where you can, if you only remember that I have a TikTok, you can go to that link tree that's with that, and you can find everything. That best way to reach out to me, email, whatever.
Outstanding. And the last question, this one's might be a softball for you. What's 3 things the Misfit Nation audience can start doing tomorrow in order to be better people?
Speak louder.
Speak louder.
Nice. You say it's a softball. Yeah. You know, just you by inviting me, I can see that you're not scared to go asking whoever people, but I see that you follow silently, and I don't see you like on TikTok and stuff. I don't see y'all much up other than doing y'all's own lives. But no, I don't have a great answer for that one.
It's all right. Speak louder works out, and help your community grow. I'll put on there. I think that's what you were getting at. Spelled that right.
Well, and then I add, helping your community grow, and not just helping your community grow outwardly, but inward.
Nice.
Better connections within our community from other good creators, other good mentors, whatever it is, getting to know them more on a personal level. That way, just as good as I do, as you get bigger as a creator, there's going to be attacks. There's going to be hate coming. But having a strong unified force, then there's nothing for them to come after. And there's people that are going to be right there by your side saying, man, keep going. Avoid the noise. Just keep going because your mission's awesome.
Definitely. I think that there was a pizza chain back in the day. You say avoid the noise. I think it might have been Little Caesars. Avoid the noise. Get your pizza hot and ready. But
no, the noise.
Yeah, I said it just like that. Avoid the noise. Don't do that too.
Yeah.
There's too much noise out there right now, and like you said, there's going to be haters, hate out there, hate speech that comes towards you, especially if you start doing something good. The arrows start coming at you because people don't want you to rise, and those are usually people that are not very happy with themselves. So just brush it off, and like Tay says, just shake it off and just keep dancing forward. Do your dance and do what's best for those around you. Clifton, again, thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for sharing your journey with the Misfit Nation.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
Misfit Nation, remember, a day tomorrow with you is 100% better than one without you. Do not let the darkness cave in on you. Think about those who are around you. They will miss you. They do love you. They want you here. Reach in your wallet. Look at that 1-inch piece of paper we tell you to carry. The 3 names that are on there. Call them. Reach out and touch someone. They will answer. They want to hear your voice today, tomorrow, and the next day. If you don't want to do that, dial 988. Take option 1 if you're a veteran. If you're not, follow the prompts. They will help you. And if all that fails, you can contact us here at the Misfit Nation. info@themisfitnation.com, jake@themisfitnation.com, or steven@themisfitnation.com. We will keep you on the line until someone local can come help you and make sure you're with us tomorrow. Until next time, be hungry, stay humble, and keep hustling, because we are.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.